How do you go about getting the group up to that?
I think it's just to take it on as a challenge. You know, there's certain elements within our game that we want to try to continue to replicate for longer periods. It's a great opportunity for some of our younger guys to play on some of the best players in the competition. So, yeah, for us it's to embrace that challenge, bring energy to the game, and put our, hopefully put our best four-quarter performance together this week.
Is there a chink in their armour that you can exploit, or is it just about working on what you guys are trying to do better?
It's a little bit of both. There's not too many chinks. You know, they're a well-rounded, united group. They play well together. If you're going to find a chink, you've got to go at it really hard, and you've got to really drill at it for a long period of time. But yeah, I think it's the balance of taking on that challenge and then continuing to put in place what we're trying to put in place for the longer haul.
There's teams that have played well against this season and barely gotten close. Is there a possibility, or do you prepare for the fact that you guys might play well but still lose by a large margin?
Look, we'll always try to play well. That's the first way that we'll look at it. We go to work on some of those quarters and games where teams have been able to pull the game to their control. So we'll look at those things and we'll try to replicate. If that suits our style, like we don't want to just, adapt just because we're playing, a team each week, because you can lose your identity. So yeah, we'll go to work on what we think will work for us, and we'll try to put that in place. But yeah, as I said, they're a well-rounded team.
Is it a balancing act just to want to be in the game for as long as possible, but also you want to play your style, trying to develop your brand?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's good teams get the game and wrestle the game back to their terms. That's why they're up in the top half of the ladder. So that's what we're trying to learn, as to how we can manoeuvre our way through games when we lose that sentiment of not getting the game under control. Last week we didn't get it in the first quarter. Second and third we thought we were okay in being able to manage the game and controlling the ball for periods of time. So that'll be our challenge, is to jump into the game from the start.
What do you do differently in that regard? Because it's not an isolated first quarter last week. There's been several of them.
Yeah, Carlton game were okay. Sydney game were okay. Look, we've tinkered a little bit with our warm-up. We've got to make sure that the players are ready to go, make sure that they're ready to step up to the level that we need to. So, yeah, we've tinkered with a few things. And look, the best thing is you've got to front up to it and admit that, you haven't had great starts, and the players are very conscious of that. We try to start strong at training, so we're trying to, get our players a sense of understanding what that actually looks like.
You're not quite doing the Malcolm Blight, who famously practiced a half-time break at training. Have you practiced a pre-game speech today? Or?
No. We've, we're really calm and composed through the week. We reviewed the game Monday. We went to work and did some skill and improvement education yesterday. Today's main training, so we'll try to work on defence, our contest, and then we'll try to work on how we want to move and shape the ball.
It is still early in the week, but do you get a sense from the players that they're ready to get stuck in, get their teeth into the challenge?
Yeah, look, our players have been unquestionable in their thirst to want to come in and continue to learn and get better. I think the energy is terrific. Has been now for 18 months, I reckon. They're always up to the challenge. They're always up to the task. There's not too many times that I've had to go to them for an effort to bring effort and energy, particularly to training. So, yeah, I think they've been really consistent with that approach.
Goal kicking this year, or the last couple of weeks, haven't been accurate in front of the big sticks. Is that something you address at training today, and do you spend a bit more time this week and maybe the past couple of weeks?
Yeah, last couple of weeks we've done a little bit more work. More of our problem's been getting it down there more often, to have more shots on goal. So there's probably a little bit of a step before that. But the forwards are really diligent. Heath Uni runs, a really good program down there. The guys have got a regular part of routine that they go through in order to have a certain number of shots. So we probably haven't ramped that up too much, but more just stay with what we've been doing. But we want to get it down there a bit more.
A few handy ins expected this week after the outs last week. How are those guys going?
I think if they all get through training, then they'll all be considered. Jason, Jai and Huey. And then it looks like if Tristan gets through training as well, he may be a consideration as well. So he's recovered, done a lot of work to get himself back to the point, so that's probably been a handy plus for us if he gets through this week as well.
Is that particularly because you are coming up against probably the best 1-2 duo in the business in terms of Thorny and Jackson?
Yeah, well, I mean, we played two rucks. Tristan was in really good form before he came out. Goldie's taken a big, step forward in that. CJ's still finding his feet a little bit, I think, in that second ruck and forward. So it's the first time we've probably had a little bit of competition for selection, which has been good. And the rucks have always, we've known through pre-season that, we're always going to probably play two of those three. So it just means that we've got another option coming into selection, which is great. But he's got to get through training.
Mid-season draft is approaching. Do
Yeah.
you have any idea what you're going to do when it comes to that?
Probably have discussion later in the week. Miller Bergman's, is an option with his shoulder reco, so that gives us an option to consider if we go down that path. I know the list management recruiting guys had a day of reviewing and prep yesterday. We'll have a brief by the end of the week, early next week, and we'll make that decision next week.
Just with Jason, the hamstring awareness that he just misses the week with, or was there a bit of wear and tear just first season at 18 years old?
He seems to be going okay, but you are conscious of that grind. They generally only come in and do about 60%, of the pre-season. He has played in senior footy last year. It could be a combination that the wear and tear causes a bit of that soreness. So that's why there was a no-risk policy for us last week. And we've got to be conscious of Paul Curtis as well. He's in the same category.
And Jai felt something in the warm-up before Tassie. Does he still need to prove he's 100% ready?
We had a scan. Scan was pretty good. It was more of an overuse than anything, so it wasn't any strain or anything. So he's got through his treatment this week again. He'll hits his top speed today. He'll be fine. No, not this week. Not this week. It might be a sneaky chance before the bye, but we'll just wait and see how Hawley progresses in the next couple of weeks. So he's a bit of wait and see. A couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks maybe. Again, if we're coming into that bye, there'll be, there won't be a risk. We'll make sure we get the right loads underneath.
How's Will Phillips tracking? I was watching the injury update that you guys put out yesterday. It sounds pretty horrific what he's been going through.
I'm not sure. Horrific. It's probably too strong a word. But he struggled to just get his energy back. So we'll just see how he pulls up over on a weekly basis now to see how he keeps tracking. But we're conscious of that glandular fever. The signs so far, the review of all of his bloods have been pretty solid. So we've just got to have a little bit of time to take with him to make sure he recovers and gets that energy back.
And the presentation that we saw before,
fantastic.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what was said out there?
So Kai's developed our jumper, so the kangaroo can only move forward. It's same as the emu, so the kangaroo and the emu on the jumper are a collaboration, multicultural aspect, as our club, so that collaboration. Her tribe down here have wood carvings rather than dot painting, so a lot of her memorabilia from her history is all carvings, and so there's a recognition piece of that, and then there's a meeting point for all of our players and staff on that jumper, and here North Melbourne's the meeting point for all those areas. But she's done a great job, so she's coming Saturday. I think she'll be part of the dance ceremony before, so it's great. Jumper looks fantastic, best one in the comp.
And how much does it mean for some of these boys to be able to represent the club on an occasion like Sir Doug Nicholls Round?
It's huge, Dan. We've got a great long history of Indigenous, players representing our club, and for those guys to tell us and engage in some of their stories, this week, it's great that they can represent, their tribes in this round. The Sir Doug Nicholls Round is a great recognition, I think, for our Indigenous people.
Sorry, I just got one. Simon Goodwin spoke today about his admiration for the work you're doing, and he spoke about your past relationship. What's the link between you and Simon? Well,
I was at Adelaide with Goody. I was doing the forwards and the midfield, so I had a little bit of coaching with Goody. He was always, a stellar player, worked really hard, always had that sentiment that he was destined to be a good coach, I always thought. I had a strong relationship with Simon when we were at Adelaide, worked closely together. I think he's done a great job. He's been through a process, as we're going through with Roosie to understand, the work that's got to be put in place. I look forward to butting heads with him on Saturday. But we worked together closely for a period of time.